Everyone, I'm Kristen Cho.
And I'm Cameron Word.
Welcome to our show. We're so happy to have you.
Yes.
We're going to get right to it because this is an interesting topic. We have an article for you today, not a dialogue. And the question is, do women still want to take their husband's last name?
Yes.
Okay, culturally, in Korea, we know that women keep their name.
Yes.
Right? But in America, it is tradition for the woman to drop her last name.
Yes.
And take on her husband's last name.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and it's the expected thing to do.
Yeah.
So when it does not happen, it is seen as very non-traditional.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't care. Like if
I don't care.
I don't care. But for some people, it has become something of an issue.
Right.
Whenever the woman wants to keep her last name, but the man is mad that the woman doesn't want to change her last name.
Yes, this can lead to arguments and conflict.
Yeah. And I mean, I understand the woman may, like her last name.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to give up her old family name.
Right.
Also, they have to change a lot of paperwork. So when I was young, I was in first grade. I had a teacher. She got married over Christmas. So for the first semester of school, she was Miss Vint.
Okay.
And then when we came back after the winter holiday, she was Mrs. Campbell.
Oh, that is strange for the students to say.
But I mean, like we did get used to it.
Right.
But she had to change her driver's license.
Wow.
She had to change all of her official registration, like her insurance.
Wow.
All of that stuff. Like it's not as simple as just taking the name,
true.
right?
That is true. So, according to this article, it seems that that women don't want to take their husband's family name.
Sure.
Yeah.
If they don't want to, sure.
Yeah. All right. So we'll find out more. Here are some expressions that we'll cover. A thing of the past.
It's something that was done before, but it is not really done anymore.
Okay. And how about boil down to? So B-O-I-L.
Yes. If you boil down to something, we're not talking about something in the kitchen. We're just talking about a problem or a situation to its most basic parts, making it as simple as possible.
Okay. And how about it's up to someone?
That means that someone, it's their responsibility or their right maybe to make a decision, to choose what they want to do.
Okay, very good. Let's go ahead and take a listen to the article.
Many women in the Western world may think that taking their husband's last name after getting married is a thing of the past. But in the U.S., while it may be declining, it is still a common practice. A recent survey of 5,000 adult women in the U.S., both married and single, found that 79% of the married women took their husband's family name, while only 33% of those who were never married said they would. It boils down to changes in culture over time. It's no longer determined by tradition. Instead, it's up to the woman to decide.
Here we go. Many women in the Western world may think that taking their husband's last name after getting married is a thing of the past. Okay, let's stop here. Okay? So, taking your husband's last name after getting married is a thing of the past. So many people think this way.
Yes.
That it is something old, old-fashioned.
Right.
And our expression, a thing of the past.
It's something not done anymore.
Yeah.
In history, in the past, people did it.
Yeah.
But now, in the modern world, we don't do it.
We don't do it.
So certain people in the Western world, Europe and, the Americas, they think that this is not happening anymore.
Got it.
Some people think that.
Okay. All right.
However, but in the U.S., While it may be declining, it is still a common practice.
Okay. It is declining. So less women are doing that, but it is still common practice.
Yes.
So common practice. Are we practicing? What do you mean, practice?
Right. So here, practice is not like 연습.
Yeah.
It's more like a custom or an action that is done often.
Right.
So a common practice is some action that a society does often.
Right. Okay.
So it is, and as far as I know, in the U.S., my friends that have gotten married, the woman has taken the man's last name.
I mean, me too. My friend as well.
I don't know any of my married friends back home.
Yeah.
I don't know any woman who has
Kept her name. Yeah.
Yeah, they've all changed it.
It's true. Okay. A recent survey of 5,000 adult women in the U.S., both married and single, found that 79% of the married women took their husband's family name, while only 33% of those who were never married said they would. Okay, let's break this down. So they did a survey.
Yes.
5,000 women, okay, married and single. So what did they find out about the married women?
79% of them, so 4/5 of the women, of the married women, took her husband's last name.
Okay.
Took her husband's family name.
All right.
However, among those who never got married, they're still single, only 33% said they would. So 1/3.
Yeah.
So that's a lot less. Over half of unmarried women, of single women, said they wouldn't take the man's name.
Yeah. But I wonder if they get married, like once they get married, if they'll change their mind because of peer pressure or, you know, people saying, oh, you've got to take your husband's name.
It is true.
You know what I mean? You get pressure from family.
Yeah, I've heard of women who want to keep their name, but families,
they're like, how could you?
That's weird. That's weird.
Right.
Or especially, like, the guy will get mad.
Yeah.
The husband will be mad.
You're not going to take my name?
You aren't respecting me.
Oh, my God.
I mean, there's some social issues to talk about with that. But yeah, it is not an easy decision.
Right.
Maybe for women on whether they want to keep the name or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it continues by saying it boils down to changes in culture over time. Okay, this is making a big statement.
Yes.
So, culture will change after time passes.
Yes.
And it boils down to this.
Yeah.
So, boil down to.
Yes. So first, let's talk about the culinary meaning of this.
Yes.
The kitchen term.
Boil it down.
To boil it down. Korean, I believe you say 조리다. Like you have the like 간장 조림 or whatever,
right.
where you're taking the soy sauce and boiling it down.
You're reducing it.
You're reducing it, right? In the same way, when you boil down a situation, you're taking away a lot of stuff and leaving the most basic or the most simplified version of it so that it's easier to understand.
Yeah.
Or you're giving the basic reason for something.
That's right. So it boils down to, so the most important thing, in essence, that's what it's saying.
Yes.
Okay? Changes in culture over time. Over time is actually our power pattern.
Yes.
So we have things like on time, in time, over time.
Right.
A lot of prepositions in the front, but they all mean something different.
Yes.
So, what is overtime?
Over time means as time goes on, as time continues.
Right.
So this change in culture is not something that happened all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's happened little by little.
Little by little.
So we say the change happened over time.
Okay. Let's finish it off.
It's no longer determined by tradition. Instead, it's up to the woman to decide.
Okay, so it was a tradition before. Now you decide. It's up to the woman.
Yes.
Okay.
So up to the woman means that it is the woman's responsibility. It is her choice. She gets to decide. Well, hopefully she does. Hopefully she doesn't have peer pressure to choose one way or the other.
So when we say it's up to you,
yeah,
We know what that means. It's like you make the decision.
Your responsibility. You do it.
Right. So it's up to the woman to decide. But I think it's still going to take some time.
I agree.
Okay, let's listen to that one more time.
Many women in the Western world may think that taking their husband's last name after getting married is a thing of the past. But in the U.S., while it may be declining, it is still a common practice. A recent survey of 5,000 adult women in the U.S., both married and single, found that 79% of the married women took their husband's family name, while only 33% of those who were never married said they would. It boils down to changes in culture over time. It's no longer determined by tradition. Instead, it's up to the woman to decide.
Let's do a quick review. A thing of the past is something that is no longer popular. It's not common, right? It's old-fashioned, okay? Today, a man let the door slam in my face at a store.
It's starting to feel like chivalry and manners are becoming things of the past.
Chivalry, CHIVALRY.
Yes.
What is that, just quickly?
It's like manners, like being a gentleman. But the feeling is like, you're a knight.
You're a knight.
And you're on a horse.
And you're rescuing the damsel in distress.
You're rescuing the woman and, picking up her handkerchief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought suspenders were a thing of the past until they came back in style. Well, when it comes to fashion,
yes.
Everything
comes back.
It comes back.
Yeah. So a thing of the past would, I don't know, maybe...
A thing of the past?
Like some fashion, I guess, would be a thing of the past.
Yeah. But I feel they all kind of make a return.
They do, mostly. But, we aren't wearing clothes from, the Roman times. We're not wearing togas.
That is true.
So togas are kind of a thing of the past.
I mean, and it remains in the past.
Right.
Yeah. But I think, if you maybe 30, 40 years, you can go that far.
Yeah.
And then have it come back.
Well, now the 2000s are coming, Y2K stuff.
Oh, really?
Is really big right now.
It's really big right now? Okay.
So, I mean, a lot of things come back, but fashion, you can say it's a thing of the past, or like we talked about here, the gentleman behavior, that stuff is a thing of the past.
Yeah.
Other things can be a thing of the past. Could be, you could say that a person's a thing of the past.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just they're so old, they're so outdated.
Right.
And think of movie actors who are no longer famous, right?
Well, it's interesting because when it comes to music, like CDs and records, at one time we thought, they're a thing of the past. Now they're coming back.
Yeah.
These record players and call them LPs.
Well, you could think of beepers.
Yes.
Beepers. Those are a thing of the past.
Although I heard doctors still use. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know now. But I know they were used even
for a long time,
when people were still using their cell phones. Okay.
Or horses and carriages, how people used to ride in a horse and buggy or whatever.
That is definitely
a thing of the past.
Okay. Boil down to something means to simplify something, to reduce many things or something so that it becomes one thing.
Yes.
Okay. Here's an example. Why do you think home prices have gone up so much?
It all boils down to supply and demand. There just aren't enough houses.
Okay. So many reasons why the prices are so high.
Yes.
But you reduce it to one basic thing.
Right. The situation may look more complex, but in the end, there is one single reason that something happened.
A successful life boils down to one thing. Good relationships.
Yeah.
Money. It could be money.
It could be money.
Career.
Yeah. But I do think that if you want to be successful in anything, you have to have a good relationship. Either a business relationship or a good marriage or good friendships. you cannot be successful, I don't think, being alone, like 100% alone.
I absolutely agree. I mean, it doesn't mean that you have to get married and have a partner, but I mean, people sometimes forget that business is really like, it boils down to your relationships with the people that you work with.
Right.
And then if you're good and if you do it well and you keep a good relationship, then you progress.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, so it boils down to something. It's up to someone means, okay, it's basically that person's choice to decide.
Yes.
Which do you prefer, the morning bus or the afternoon bus?
It's up to you since we're going to visit your girlfriend. So maybe they're making plans for travel, and so they're saying, oh, do you want to wake up early and take the morning bus, or wake up late and maybe get lunch and then take the bus to see my friend?
Right. It's up to the manager whether or not we close early for the snowstorm.
Yes, so the manager is making the decision. He gets to decide if the snowstorm is too dangerous to stay open.
Right. So everything here, at Power English, it's not up to us. It's up to the PD. It's up to EBS radio department.
Yes. People above us
That's right.
are making decisions.
Nothing is up to us. We just come here and do the program, but they make the big decisions.
Yes.
All right, power pattern over time.
So this is where something is changing or something is happening, not immediately, but a little bit over time. Little by little, something changes.
Okay. The size of mountains and canyons change over time.
Couples may fall out of love over time.
Very
sometimes
true.
it happens.
Sometimes.
It happens very often.
It happens very often.
Over time, people fall out of love.
That's right. Okay. Common practice. We're talking about not the practice as in like practicing a skill, getting practice, but this is like basically something that you do.
Yeah, a custom. Or a habit that, an action that a society does.
All right. Do check out the definition on page 78, and let's thank our sponsor.
한국토익위원회에서 취업과 승진을 위한 토익 스피킹 응시권을 드립니다.